everyone, this is the Nico, and it is the first Friday of January. Actually, it's probably Saturday by now. I'm doing this Friday night, but just looking at the clock, I figure you're not going to get this till Saturday. So let's go through January's Humble Bundle Monthly. As always, I'll start the video by looking at the games and savings that Humble Monthly subscribers received this month. The games in this month's pack include Tomb Raider for Windows, OS X, and Linux, Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition for Windows and OS X, Quantum Break for Windows, The Long Dark for Windows, OS X, and Linux, Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3 for Windows, OS X, and Linux, Hive Swap Act 1 for Windows, OS X, and Linux, Mr. Shifty for Windows, OS X, and Linux, and Cursed Castilla for Windows, for an actual value of $199.92 and a total savings of $187.92. Assuming you managed to buy all these games at the lowest prices ever on Steam, the total cost would be $59.68, which means this bundle saved purchasers about $48. Also in this bundle, subscribers received the Humble Original game Hitchhiker, which is for Windows and OS X. So, I'm still feeling a little salty after the past few months of this bundle, but in the interest of fairness, let's be honest, spending $12 for about $60 worth of games isn't too shabby. However, it's still a low number compared to the savings Humble was giving us in the first half of last year, where we were clocking in monthly savings between $70 and $80, and that was after I subtracted the $12 sub fee. If you're wondering how a $200 bundle took such a massive hit, it's because they've tossed in two games that see massive discounts during Steam sales, namely Tomb Raider and Sleeping Dogs. These two games are both over 5 years old. Tomb Raider in particular was selling for slightly less than $3 during the Christmas sale. Sleeping Dogs was under $5. So that means these two games that have MSRPs totaling up to 50 some odd dollars are actually only worth about $7.50. Long Dark has also been heavily discounted in the past, and it also had a lower MSRP in the past because it was bumping around in early access for quite a while. So it has an MSRP now of $35, but its Christmas sale price was just under $7. The best value in the bundle in terms of just money is Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3. It has an MSRP of $40, and its lowest discount ever was 50% off, so it ended up contributing about $20 to the value of the bundle. The runner-up is Quantum Break for contributing about $10 worth of the overall bundle value. So these two games make up half the value of the bundle, and the last $30 is fairly evenly split among the other games. This month we have 8 games, which isn't unusual, especially when several low-value titles are bundled together. The typical number most months is 7 games. There's also one Humble Original title, and sadly no new additions to the Humble Trove, so no need for you to head over there and check on it, unless you want to stare longingly at the screen and ask rhetorical questions like, "But why, Humble? Why?" Okay, with that out of the way, let me talk about the games in this bundle. First, we have Quantum Break, which is a story-centric cinematic action game. The Long Dark, which is a exploration survival game set in a very cold bit of Canada. Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 3 is a sci-fi real-time strategy game. Sleeping Dogs is an open-world crime action adventure game. Tomb Raider is, well, honestly, if I have to explain what Tomb Raider is, where have you been for the past 20 years? Okay, so then we have Hive Swap Act 1, a hand-drawn point-and-click adventure game. Mr. Shifty, a top-down fighting game that looks somewhat like Hotline Miami, crossed with a bullet hell. It looks interesting. Lastly, Cursed Castilla, which is an arcade action platformer reminiscent of games like Ghosts and Goblins from the late 80s. The oldest game this month is technically Sleeping Dogs, since it came out way back in mid-2012. But if we're being nice and pointing out that this is the definitive version, then the oldest title is Tomb Raider, which first came out back in early 2013. 2015. I'm willing to give Sleeping Dogs a pass to second oldest, mostly because the definitive edition does provide improvements to the game's audio and visual components and isn't just a big game plus DLC bundle roundup thing, which is what most of these definitive editions are. Then there's Long Dark, which has been around in some form since late 2014, but only just came out of early access this past August. After that, we have Quantum Break at 2 years of age, and the rest of the bundle are between a year and 4 months since their initial release. Okay, so now's the part where I give my opinion, and I will, but let's try something new this month. I'm going to pass out a reward for the stinkiest game in this bundle. This month's stinker goes to the game that Humble previously had in one of its own bundles in 2015, and then again in one of their bundles in 2016. The only difference being is that the purchasers of the 2016 bundle got the Game of the Year version. Yes, this bundle's stinker is Tomb Raider, because Humble wasn't content to just give us a previously bundled game. They had to rub a little extra salt in the wound by not even upping it to the Game of the Year edition. That is, of course, assuming you didn't buy this game in any of Humble's previous bundles. Ah yes, the rewards of being a loyal customer. Gotta love it. I would normally also pick on Sleeping Dogs, but the difference is that we've gotten the definitive version, a version that Humble has never bundled before, a version that coincidentally includes all the random bits of DLC and other junk, plus various game improvements. So, Humble, if you're going to give us a 5-year-old game, at least have the decency to give us the entire game with all the crummy DLC, even if it is crummy DLC. Personally, I already owned Sleeping Dogs, Tomb Raider, and The Long Dark, but I didn't own the definitive version of Sleeping Dogs, and since I haven't played Sleeping Dogs since sometime in 2013, I now have a perfect excuse to replay it again. If you've never played Sleeping Dogs before, I would describe it as GTA set in Hong Kong with tons more style and really good writing. I'm still sad that the studio that made Sleeping Dogs has since shut down, and so there may never be a sequel to the game. The Long Dark I've had since the first year it was in early access. In my opinion, it's one of the best survival games out there, especially in terms of realism. It's not perfect, and I take issue with some of the mechanics, some of the wildlife behavior, a few other things, but I grew up in an extremely rural area, and I simply know too much about wilderness survival and wild animals and stuff like that, so, for the average person, you probably won't even notice the things that are unrealistic. As for the rest of the titles, they all look pretty darn good. I think I'm most looking forward to playing Hive Swap because I really like the style of the graphics and the reviews on that look amazing. Dawn of War 3 and Quantum Break are already proving to be enjoyable in their own rights, and Mr. Shifty as well as Cursed Castilla look like they will be hard but entertaining. So overall, except for that Tomb Raider stinker, this is a pretty good month in my opinion. Not amazing, but it's certainly not bad. We got a nice blend of many different game genres, and it's not overkill on just one theme. Before I wrap up, next month's early unlock is Civilization 6 with a couple DLCs, the Viking Scenario Pack and the Australian Civilization and Scenario Pack, which altogether isn't a bad early unlock. The lowest prices of the game plus these two DLC totaled up comes to $38.97 in value. So that's a pretty juicy early unlock for just $12. If that game happens to interest you, it certainly will make next month's bundle worth the price of admission. As always, thanks for watching, and I will be back the first Friday of February with the next video in this series. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, maybe follow me on Twitter, and I hope to see you next time.